Hello, hello, everyone. Sorry, we're a little bit late. Okay, I see the chat already, and it started. I was not playing Dreamlight Valley, okay? It's actually worse than that. I forgot the game at a friend's house, and I had to go and get it. Surprise! So, for those who are in the chat and don't know who I am, my name is Mandy. I'm one half of Salt and Sass. I'll leave you to guess who is Salt and who is Sass. And I'm here with some very fun guests, Danny and Matthew. Thank you so much for joining me. Yay!
Yay,
So,
thanks for having me.
Danny, Matthew, introduce yourselves, please, and who you work for. That'll let everybody kind of get familiar with you. Who wants to go
Uh,
first?
yeah, who's first?
You go first, Matt.
You go first. Okay. Well, hey everyone, I'm Matthew Legault. I work with Scorpio Masquet, the publisher of Turing Machine, and with Randolph, which is also a games editing house. I do translation from French to English because all of our games start off their lives in French. And I help them move into English, but I also do a lot of development and play testing. And my official title is Gaming Handyman at those two places. So yeah, I do a little bit of a lot of different things, wear a lot of hats, and yeah, and you know what's funny? Actually, I don't actually have a copy of the game with me because I was supposed to go into the office, but the internet went down at the office, so I'm doing it from Casa Legault here.
Oh, that's okay. We appreciate you still, being here and playing with us.
Mhm.
All right, Danny, what about you?
Santa delivered my copy of Turing Machine early, so I'm all ready to play.
I wasn't a good enough boy to get one.
I'm Danny. I'm a very good girl. Santa's my list. I'm the marketing manager for Hachette, which is so Matt and I are coworkers in different offices across the country, across the continent. Um, but we work together often. He translates stuff I use in marketing, and actually we co-work on some translations too. But mostly I do social media, content creators, uh, ads, marketing, everything marketing. That's my
Everything.
realm. Yeah.
That's so
10,000
important.
things.
Yes,
Very many.
exactly. So thank you for that. And I know I see you all over social media, so I know other people in the chat do as well. So shout out to everyone that's joined us. Slivers, I see you there. And Tangipu, thank you for subscribing and joining as usual. And I know I'm always trying to remember in the chat who likes solo. This game can be played solo. We're going to be playing it cooperatively today, which I've never played. So this is I'm so glad that Matthew and Danny are here because I have played the game, just not cooperatively. Also, you all know how I like to dabble in a little bit of French on the stream. Well, I am not the expert today. Je parle français, mais Danny et Matthew parlent meilleur que moi. So they are much better than I am. So if someone is in the chat and would like to ask a question in French, we got you. Okay, we do encourage bilingualism in our streams. Yay! Okay, so yeah, you know what? Let's jump right in because I know this is a lunch break for a lot of people. And oh yes, Eclectic Camel, I see you too. Thanks for joining. Matthew is going to take us through the rules a little bit, and we're all going to play cooperatively together. And at the end, once we have the solution, I'll show you the website where we're getting it from because I think a few of us have worked through the rule book, and we didn't want to do a problem that had already been we would know the answer to. So this is where I stop talking, and Matthew's going to take over. Did you want me to switch to the other screen, or did you want to stay? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, sure, you can switch to the screen, I think, so we can have a look at what the game actually looks like on the table. So there it is. So this is Turing Machine, and for those of you who don't know, Turing Machine is a deduction game, which can be played, like we said, solo or co-op or competitively. And now, normally with deduction games, the way it works is that you have a little bit of information and everybody has a bit of information. And your goal is to get information from the other people to try to, bulk out the thing that you're looking for to find the solution. But here in Turing Machine, nobody has any information. All of the information is in the machine, right? Which is sort of abstractly represented by that big tile in the middle of the table. And how you get the information is not by asking other players, of course, but by asking questions to the verifiers. Now, the verifiers are represented by those cards that have that are sort of half black, half white that you can see on the table. There's verifiers A, B, C, D, and E in this game. So we're using a game with 5 verifiers. Sometimes you can have a game of 6 verifiers or 4 verifiers. And each of those verifiers knows something about the code. They don't know the code. None of the verifiers actually know the code. Some of the verifiers don't even know a single number in the code, but they know something about it. And our goal as deductors, or deducers, is to
Close enough, yeah.
find deductionators.
Excellent.
Me fail English? That's impossible. Is to try to figure out what criterion each of the verifiers is looking for.
Before you continue, Matthew, we have Nubari code breakers.
Code breakers?
I like it.
I like code breakers. Makes us sound like professionals.
Exactly, which we are. Yeah.
We are. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask questions to each verifier using a 3-digit code, because the aim of the game is to be the first player in a in a competitive game, or as a cooperative team to do it in the least number of questions possible, to find a 3-digit code. Okay, and the way that you do ask your questions is you put together a 3-digit code as a proposal. So there you go. There's Mandi putting together a code. So let's say we've got 1, 2, 3. And if you want to separate those cards, you'll be able to see that each of those cards, is a punch card. And when you overlay them on top of each other with the little circle up in the top left corner and the square and the triangles around the outside edge, you'll see that only one little square becomes available. Sometimes it can be in the middle, like in this situation. Sometimes it's up in the top right or wherever else. It doesn't matter where it is on the card. It's just that there's going to be one little square. And that's where we're going to get our information from. Okay, we get our information by taking one of the verification cards. Now, Mandi, if you can take a verification card maybe out of the box so that we're not...
Yeah, this one's off the side that I had. Yeah.
Great minds. I love it. We're going to take that verification card, we're going to flip it over, and you're going to see the verification card is covered in little X's, red X's and green ticks. Okay, so if we lay our proposal over top of that verification card, you'll see only one little square becomes available for us to see, and I can't quite tell what that is. Is that a green tick?
It is a green tick, yeah.
Yes, that's a green tick. So that means that our proposal here satisfies the verifier. It passes the verifier's test. Now, it doesn't necessarily tell us exactly what's in the code, but it gives us information that we can use about what's in the code. So we use that code. We're going to put together one code per round as a proposal. And we're going to use that proposal up to 3 times per round, meaning that we're going to ask 3 different verifiers with using the same code. And we're going to take notes using that code on our notepad here. This is one that I printed up off the Scorpio Masque website, but Mandi's also got one there on the table. So you can see there's all kinds of different ways to take our notes there. And once we've made all of our deductions, in a competitive game at the end of the round, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, and you're gonna put your hand in the middle of the table, 1, 2, 3, and you put your thumb up if you think you've got the answer right, or your thumb down, as Danny's got there, to say, I don't quite have the answer yet, let's play another round. If everybody has their thumb down, you play another round, and you keep going until at the end of a round, somebody thinks they have it, they look up their answer, and if they got it right, they win. If a number of people have it right at the same time, the person who has done it in the fewest number of guesses, or the fewest number of questions is the winner, because you can, like I said, you can ask up to 3 verifiers per round. So sometimes you only need to ask a couple of questions, or maybe only even one question in your last round to come up with the answer that you're looking for.
Going to jump in just for a sec, Matthew, just so everybody knows, because we're not using the rule book. This is the site that will be coming to after to test the code, so I will put that on the screen. If you're not interested, I will say in advance, I'm about to put up the response, so if you don't want to know, you can mute or look away. Okay, sorry.
Nice. Good. So that's the overall idea of the game. Now, in order for everybody to be on the same page, I think what we can do is we can just quickly go over each verifier's card, just so that we understand what we're dealing with. And then once we've done that, I think we can kick off.
Sure. Yeah, that's good. You want to start here?
Yeah, let's start with A. So let's look at A. A is very straightforward. It is, this verifier verifies if the triangle or the blue number is even or odd. So it's going to be a yes or no answer. So for instance, if we put a 1 in the code, in Mandi's 1, 2, 3 example, and we get a tick mark, it's telling us that, yes, blue is odd. If we get an X, well, we know that blue is even. So that's a pretty easy one to help us out with straight off the bat. And once again, the verifiers are only looking at what they're looking for, okay? So the other numbers in the code in that don't matter at all. And also, don't forget, if we get a tick mark, that doesn't mean that blue is 1. That means that blue is 1, 3, or 5.
And that was always the hardest thing when I was explaining to people. They were like trying to look at the whole, I'm like, no, just look at this specific thing that it's verifying.
That's the tricky thing in Turing machine. And I'll get to that, I think, in a future verifier. So verifier B then, this verifier verifies the number of 3s in the code. Now you can see at the bottom, there are 4 different possibilities. There are either 0 3s, 1 3, 2 3s, or 3 3s. So the key to Turing machine is trying to figure out what yes or no question your proposal is asking the verifier, okay? Because if you don't know what the question is you're asking, you're not going to be able to figure out what the answer is. So in our 1, 2, 3 code, the question is obviously not how many 3s are there in the code. It's not going to be able to tell us that. The question in a code reading 1, 2, 3 is there 1 3 in this code? Yes or no? If the verifier says yes, we know that there's 1 3 in the code. Does it mean that the 3 is the last number? No. It might be, but it's not telling us that for sure. All it's telling us is that there is in fact 1 3 in the code. If it says no, then that means that there are either 0, 2, or 3 3s in the code. Okay, so let's go on to the next verifier. This one verifies which color's number is larger than either of the others. So this means that there is one number that's going to be the largest in this code. So it's either blue is the largest, yellow is the largest, or purple is the largest. So in our code 1, 2, 3, purple is the largest number in the code. If we get a yes, it means that purple's the largest. If we get a no, it means that purple's not the largest. All right. The next verifier, this one verifies the number of even numbers there are in the code. So there are either 0 even numbers, 1, 2, or 3 even numbers. All right. So that's pretty straightforward. If your code has only 1 even number in it, you're asking the question, is there 1 even number in the code? And the final one, this verifier verifies if a number repeats itself in the code. So there's either a triple number, a double number, or no repetition. Okay, so that's when we put our codes together, we'll figure out, you know, what the question is. In a 1, 2, 3 code, once again, that means we're asking, is there no repetition in the code? And if we get a yes answer, then we know that we're looking for, you're looking for a code that doesn't have any repeat numbers in it. And that's essentially the way the game works. And I'm not going to give anything away just yet, but seasoned Turing machine veterans like Danny and myself, at least, will be able to figure and do out a little bit of deduction even before we get started by just looking at the verifiers that we're dealing with, because the questions that the verifier or the criteria that the verifiers are looking for can already give us a little bit of information about the code that we're searching for. And that's how you play Turing machine.
Yay! That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good explanation. Okay. So what are we starting off? We need to come up with a code, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
3 numbers.
3 numbers. Okay. What are we thinking here? I mean, the first one's kind of like...
Well, it could be anything, but I think the idea is that we want to try to get a code that is going to give us different kinds of answers from different verifiers that we have.
And if people in the chat want to try it, and like you have, say, hey, I think this is a good 3-digit number, throw it in there. As long as it's between 1 and 5, we're happy to try it out. Or if you have this game at home, like feel free to kind of pull your stuff out and play along with us, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, and hello, thanks for joining Chits and Giggles. Thanks so much. Okay.
Well, we've got one that's looking for the number of 3s in the code. We've got blue being even or odd, which, you know, we could always just start with that 1, 2, 3 code that you put together, Mandi.
That's usually my go-to. 1, 2, 3. Okay,
Perfect.
so 1, 2, 3.
So yeah, so I'll explain the notepad that Mandy is using. The first thing you need to do when you're playing is to write down your code in the top line. Whether you're playing cooperatively or competitively, you write down that code, and then you're going to be able to write your answers, whether they're X's or ticks, in the little boxes next to the numbers or the letters of the verifiers.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I should probably write this down too, because I always forget. So it lets me know which one we're doing. Okay, so I wrote that down. I got the old numbers here together.
So which one should we start off with? A?
A, yeah.
A? Okay, so A is verifies if blue is even or odd. All right, so let me take this. So let me do this first. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Yes, y'all are going to be privy to my noises. So, we got an X.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So you're going to put an X underneath A in the A box.
In the A box down here. Bloop.
No, up.
Oh,
up
here, sorry.
your code.
Yeah, I actually put it there already, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah, because you have to make sure we got it.
Yeah, I put it here already.
So A is X, meaning?
It is not odd.
Mm-hmm. So
Good.
then we know that blue is even.
Yay! So I like to put notes here, so no one
For
judge
sure.
me.
Like any deduction game, you're only as good as the notes you take.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now you can also use the number grid on the right-hand side, Mandy.
Yes,
Cross
exactly.
off
All of the odd
all
numbers.
So
Okay.
satisfying. I love
It is.
crossing things off.
Can I tell you though, the first time I played this game, I ignored this whole area. And then after I was like, oh my gosh, how did I ignore this? Like, it's so much easier to keep track of everything.
100%.
So wait, what's going on in the chat here? So
Oh, wow.
I thank you, Danny, by the way, for keeping track of that. It's hard to do the two things here. So Niabari, for a code like this, what's important to note is that we have a largest number and a blue verifier. So, it just bumped. Here we go. So I would be suspicious that we're dealing with 2 evens and an odd, or perhaps 3 events with a pair. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, something that person just pointed out, thank you very much, is that because we know that there is a largest number, we can't our code cannot be 3 of the same number.
Okay. So let's see, where's my thing? So that's under, I'm just going to put this little note here. Not 3 of...
Thanks for your confidence in my abilities, Matt. Assuming I knew that already.
Oh my goodness.
You're a seasoned veteran. Hey, Danny spent how many hours in the airport playing Turing Machine when you came?
I did. I was stuck over the summer. I had a prototype with me after Dice Tower East, and I was stuck in the airport for 3 hours, all by my lonesome. So I played solo, and I got through level 17 in the rulebook.
Wow, that's really good. That's really good. Solos are hard too.
Matt, did I ever tell you the story of level 16?
I think you may have. Remind me.
So I was a seasoned veteran at this point, and I had played so many. I knew the game through and through. I was very confident in my abilities. And I tested, and I found the code, and I went and I checked in the rulebook for the answer, and it didn't match what I had. And instead of assuming that I was wrong and had perhaps made an incorrect deduction, I emailed the entire Scorpion team. I was like, "Stop the presses! There's an error in the
designers of the game, the whole bit."
And then one of the designers very kindly and calmly messaged me on Facebook to walk me through the logic of the correct answer.
Humility level 10.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, okay. So just while we're in here, so for chits and giggles, thanks for popping in. Sorry, my chat. I guess that's a new thing. I have to sign in, and I didn't do that. So thank you for popping in. And someone is asking for the problem number. So it's one that's online. I guess I can copy the link, and put it in the chat. It's number B52. Let me copy it.
B52?
Actually, I can't.
I got it. I put it in chat.
Thank you, because I can't with my non-signing in. Thank you very much. So anybody wants to check it out? Yeah, isn't that it? Wait, that's the group, right?
Yeah, the
Love
Love
Shack,
Shack is a little old
the
place
place
where
where
you
we can get to.
together.
I saw them live. They're actually really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Rock
No doubt.
Lobster. Okay, I digress. All right, so what are we trying next? Oh boy.
Maybe C to see if.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at
Purple.
too.
You were looking at one. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at that one too. So now we're just, I guess
Chat
determining it.
agrees.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So C. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, we got a green check
Look at
mark.
that.
Okay, so what does this tell us here?
Well, what's the question we've asked?
So the question we've asked, so we're looking at which color's number is larger than either of the others. So we're looking at blue is larger than purple or yellow. That's not the case here. Yellow is larger than blue and purple, or purple is larger than yellow and blue.
Looks like it is.
So, yeah.
Yes.
So the question we're asking is purple the largest number in the code? And the answer we got is yaha.
Yes.
So we can cross something out as well. What can we cross out in our little grid on the right?
Yes, so we can cross out basically the, what are we at here?
Purple 1.
Yes, purple 1. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that goes
And-
there. Yep.
Can we cross another one out?
All right, Mr. Teacher. I'm the teacher here. I'm joking. By the way, everybody, so for those who are worried, I am very bad, like extremely bad at problem solving, deduction. Like my brain just doesn't work that way, but I really like this game. So if you're scared of that, don't be. Seriously, it's good. Okay, back to that. What else can we cross out? Well, we had a 2. Would the 2 be crossed?
Chat says yellow 5, which I think is correct.
Oh, that is also correct. You are correct.
Very good, yeah. And the purple 2, because...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The purple 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because we know
Right.
blue can be a 2.
But it has to be bigger than the 2.
Right.
Okay.
And what's Eric playing? Oh, hello, Eric. I also really appreciate that the app doesn't tell you the answer if you're wrong, so you can just keep going when you make mistakes, like I do a lot.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, this is good. I like where we're going here. So we have one more, right?
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
What about you, Dan? Do you have any thoughts? Or chat, do you have thoughts on what we should check next?
We have a 3 in our number, so I'm thinking B.
B? Yeah, B seems like a totally good one. So let's do that. Boop, boop, boop. Okay.
Oh, and by the way, something I didn't mention that could be worth mentioning is that you need the information from all of the verifiers, and no information repeats itself. So even though we've got a couple of verification codes, verifier questions here that seem a little bit similar, you're never going to get repeat information.
Okay. Nope, that's really good to know, for sure. Okay, so B, we were checking to see number of 3s in the code. Well, we have 1 3, and we did get a check mark.
Wow. Very cool.
Yes. Thanks for the follow before you play. So we got a check mark on that one. So that's, well, then we know that there is a 3 at least in there.
Mm-hmm. So we can tick that under B.
Okie dokie. Boop, boop, boop. At least 1 3. Oh, and Origami Goblin.
Not at least
Exactly.
1 3. Exactly 1 3.
Oh, exactly 1 3. Oh, yes. Sorry. That is right. Hold on. Let me take this off or I'll shake the entire table.
Yeah, that's a very good point in the chat. I'm sorry, I can't see your name. Nidari, I think. There's also
and that's exactly where I was with Eric. Like, why is it only 1? Why is that not saying that there could be it could be more 3s, but we know for sure there is a 3 there.
That's right. Yep. Excellent.
So is that right? Because that's where
there's only one code that meets all of the verifiers. So if you think you have verifiers that will result in a code with more than one answer, it's not correct. And that's very well pointed out as well.
Okay, so Eric, I see you. See, we're on the same page. I'm sure it's the roundabout way that I'll get there, but it's there. Okay, just give me one sec here. Just gotta move something up. Okay,
So
cool.
now
Yes.
we cannot ask any more questions. We're allowed to ask up to 3 verifiers per round per code. So we have to put the 1, 2, 3 back in the box, even though it did great work for us, and I would like to ask all of them with that code. That's the end of the first round. But we've done pretty well with 2 ticks out of 3.
So good. I'm looking at the chat here. Danny's in the chat. Hello, hello. I feel like we haven't talked in forever, but I appreciate you popped by. And I see that I love this, that everyone's like really into like what the number could be. So Nibare, the B verifier checks for number of 3s, and because the code has 1 3 and it's a check mark, you know there's exactly 1 3. Okay, and that's what Matthew was saying earlier. Yeah. And then Eric was saying unless it's 2 2 3, I suppose. So. All right, I'll let you continue, Matthew, and then if anybody wants to think of the next code you think we should try, because we get to do it again, unless we've decided we've solved it, but I'm pretty sure we haven't.
not quite yet.
Yes.
So so we can go into the second round now, and what should we try?
Yeah, and Danny, so you were going to say something?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking 4 3 2, so we can check the evens and the repetition.
Okay.
Although 4 3 2, we've already crossed off the 2 purple.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
It's important. 2 3 4 is what I meant.
Okay. Okay, so you want to try 2 3 4? I guess we're going with that because chat's not saying anything else. So let's go with 2 3 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hopefully I'm writing that big enough. I'm using the teacher writing today, so I'll let me know if you can't see it. Okay, so let me grab that quickly.
Mm-hmm. We've got people who are very pleased with our 2 3 4 suggestion.
Oh, yes. Okay. All right, I've grabbed 2 3 4. Excellent news.
Writing it down.
Okay, excellent. And by the way, everybody, I will be at PAX Unplugged this year, and guess what? I'm not working. So I'll be, that's sort of a lie though. I am doing one event for PAX specifically they've asked me to do. So I'll be teaching a couple of games. But other than that, I'm free. So if anybody is at the convention and wants to play this with me, or maybe I'll pop over to the booth. I think, are you there, Danny, Matthew? At PAX? Perfect.
I'm not there this year.
Oh, okay. Aw. That's okay. In spirit. Yes, that's why we're doing this.
I'll try to dig up a cheesesteak here in Montreal.
There you go, exactly. But by all means, if you see me, just, Mandy, I saw you on stream. Would you like to play Turing Machine or any other game for that matter? Please feel free to stop me. Okay. What's going on in here? LU key using a nullbur that WQS crossed is not an issue. Okay, bad keyword. Okay, sorry, reading ahead. Okay, go ahead. So we're doing 2 3 4 is our code.
So do we want to maybe check how many even numbers there are in the code?
That's a good idea. So that is how many even? Here we go. So that's D. Yeah, thank you. Oh.
Our codes are so good.
Okay. Oh, hey-oh. Look at that, everybody. Green check mark.
Oh, very nice.
Okay, so what is this telling us?
So the question that we asked was?
This verifies how many even numbers are there in the code. Okay, there are 0 even numbers, 1 even number, 2 even numbers, or 3 even numbers. And right now we do have 2.
So we know there are 2 even numbers in the code.
And 1 3 somewhere.
And a 3, exactly.
Yes, oh, right. All right. Hey-oh, let's put that there.
The code could theoretically be 2 3 4.
Which I think, yeah, okay. Actually, that does sound plausible. Okay.
Oh, Eric in chat has a very good observation.
Okay.
That means that purple can't be 5 because our 3 is our odd number.
Yes.
Right. Look at you, chat.
Hold on.
Oh, wait, nope.
Oh.
Yellow can be 3.
Yeah.
And purple can be 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, purple Oh, I see what you
Get
mean.
5 out of
Purple
5.
can't be 5 because we have one odd and it's either purple 5, purple 3 or yellow 3.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yes, that's very good. Excellent.
Okay, good observation.
That's
Nice.
Eric.
Yeah, that was so good. Wow, I like that we're whittling down that purple.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, what's going on in the chat here? Which then means that blue and yellow can't be 4, right?
Because purple is largest, period.
Mm-hmm.
And we only have our 4s left.
What? Oh my gosh.
Dang.
I can't play this online anymore. Y'all are too good. Seriously. I'm not even just saying that. Like, what? I would have had to stare at that for a little while and be like, oh yeah.
I
And
think
you know what?
Yep.
The next question that we ask, I think, is probably going to give us our answer.
Really?
well, I
Because-
think I know it already.
Oh
but
my God.
we can
But-
ask.
But we can't know for sure because we need the information from verifier E. So in other words, if we're asking E if there are repeating numbers in the code. If
Mm.
there are no repeating numbers in the code, then the code has to be 2, 3, 4.
Okay. All right. So E is what we're looking at.
Yeah, if there are repeating numbers in the code, the
okay.
answer has to be 2, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Okay. So we have checked E, and E is a green check mark.
Excellent. So the question once again that we've asked here is, are there 0 repeating? Is there no repetition in the code? And the answer is yes, there is no repetition in the code.
Yep. All right. Look at this. So that was E and that no rep in code. Okay. So, I mean, we do get one more to test if we want to.
But once again, the aim of the game when you're doing co-op is to try,
Sure.
and in every instance of the game, is to try to do it in the fewest number of guesses possible.
Very true.
All right. I got my notes. I'm ready.
Okay. So we thinking that this is the answer?
2, 3, 4.
And chat is the answer. Final answer. 2, 3, 4. Or I can practice my French here. 2, 3, 4.
Oh, I can tell a joke.
Okay, tell a joke.
Sorry if I've told this to you. But
No, I probably haven't heard it. Go, please.
Every year, there's an international cat swimming contest. This past year, the America team won first place, obviously, and their kitty was named 1, 2, 3. The German cat 1, 2, 3 placed in second.
Okay.
But then the French cat didn't place at all. Do you know why, Mandy?
No.
It's because the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And the quad cat sank.
That's really good. Okay, you gotta send me that one. I gotta say that to my French teacher. She's gonna love it.
That's the new worst joke I've ever heard. I love
But
it.
it's so good. It's so because it's like simple. So people who are like not so good with the French still get it. I'm here for it. Okay. So, all right. So we have consensus in the chat that the answer is they think it is also 2, 3, 4. So let me open up this page here. All right. And now this is where I go to. Are we going to test a code? So I don't use the
Yep.
website very often. Okay.
Test a code.
Okay, so 2 is blue, 3, 4. Correct?
Yep.
Yep, looks good.
Yay!
Yeah.
Félicitations! Congratulations! This
Now-
is the correct code.
Did we beat the machine?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I never go that far.
We
Okay.
did it in 5. We did it in 5 attempts. It took
Yep.
us
Okay.
5.
So did you beat the machine? For each round, write the verifiers. Okay, so we just check them off.
Yeah. So we
We've
put
done
an X in that one.
Okay, so that's A, X. B is a
Mhm.
check mark.
Mhm.
And C is a check mark.
Yeah.
And we want to add around. Okay, sorry. Can you do the next one for me there, please? Read it out.
D check and
Okay.
E check, and that's it.
Okay. Did you beat the machine? What?
We
We
beat the
did.
machine.
Wow, I never even like took it that far. I just like, okay, yeah, we got it done. You know what I mean? I didn't even think of that next step. So I'm
Took
so
6 questions for the machine.
Oh, what a silly Billy. We're so smart.
oh gosh, no, that's so great. And the chat was like on it. Oh my gosh. Now I feel like if I ever play this game solo, I just need to go chat. Help me out here. So, well, there you go, everybody. That I feel like it was a short game, but I know they're not super long, and I tried to pick one that wasn't too difficult. But
But this means
yeah,
that we are a machine.
that we are.
We're a machine.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Here, let's swing back over to the other scene here. Let's wait for Danny to load in.
Oh, I'm here.
Perfect. I know. It always takes a minute with this app. So, everybody, that was so fun. And like I said before, like I am not, like these types of games, I love deduction games. I'm just not very good at them. Surprisingly though, like when I'm playing with friends, I'm actually not terrible at this game. I know that sounds like the bar is not very high, but for me that's like A plus. So I mean, that being said, I can enjoy it. So someone who maybe is a little reticent to play because they think, oh, I'm not so good at these games, you might surprise yourself because I'm actually not terrible and I enjoy it. And even if I were terrible and I was having fun, that's all that matters. So what about
Right.
you, Danny? Do you find that you are kind of in that sphere, or you feel like, no, I've always been really good at those types of games? And
No, I'm a puzzle fiend.
oh,
And I usually play them solo because
okay.
I'm generally not a team player when it comes to puzzles because I don't like seeing people
You're
are
really
wrong.
selling it here, Danny.
I think I did a good job.
No, that was great. You had me fooled. I had no idea.
Great.
And it's
I
funny.
appreciate the honesty. What about you, Matthew?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you a funny story. Actually, I enjoy deduction games, and like I really love cryptid and
Yeah.
those kinds of things. But it's funny when we got this prototype at the Scorpio Masqué office. I played the first prototype and I won at lunchtime in the office. It was great. And then we got a second version of it and I won that as well. And I was like, this game is great, but it was always very close, you know.
Right.
And we got our hands on it and started doing some development to it, figuring out the rules and the way it was going to look. And there was some themes on the original prototypes of the games that we stripped off to give it to this sort of cleaner computer theme.
Right.
And somewhere along the way, they lost me. They just totally lost me. I didn't understand the game. I didn't understand how it worked. I didn't get the rules. And I became player zero. Like really, I was just like the stupidest guy you could imagine. Every time they made an adjustment to the game, they were like, "Okay, get Matthew in here and let's test it on him." And I would sit down and I'd be like, "I what? I don't." And Christian would be sitting there explaining to me, "Okay, no, but you see, because the 2 is large." And eventually, they knew that they had it when I sat down and got it and played a game and did very well. And they're like, "Yeah, I think we've achieved what we're."
It's okay. That's me. I'm that person.
Yeah, I was, yeah. But like I said, I've come from there to where I am now, where I'm able to do pretty well at most levels. Something else I want to point out that some people may come across when they get to the more difficult questions in the game, because there are certain cards in the game that have, like, these ones are quite easy, where if you ask a question, you can get a green tick mark, and you're like, okay, I never have to ask that verifier again because I have all the information I need. But the designers discovered something that they call the X paradox. And the X paradox is a funny situation where you could you could have a code and get an X on it, but then those numbers could be in the final solution. So you have to be careful, because sometimes some of the more complicated verification cards, you need to ask, yeah, that's one of them. Is that number 48?
That's number 48. I saw Eric say 48, so
Yeah,
number
exactly.
48.
There are 12 possible criteria that are being tested. So it means you have to go back and back and back to that same verifier a number of times to figure out what exactly they are giving you the tick for. So I'm not going to go into it much here, but if you get to a certain situation where you're like, this doesn't make any sense to me because it said no, but the number is in the final code, there's on the website, on the Scorpio Masqué Turing Machine website, there's a piece, there's a PDF there that explains the X paradox and can help you get over it, so you don't have to write the designer like Danny did.
This happened,
And tell
but
them
this
they're wrong.
no, but this happened in our game, and for me, I was like, it didn't phase me as much. I'm like, okay, no, like it's not. I'm not going to get a definite answer like one shot by doing this. I'm going to actually have to do this several times, whatever. So I understood that, but I played with someone who was getting so mad. They were like, no, it's broken. I'm like, I'm telling you, it's not. And I was trying to explain it, and this is even before I knew about what you were just talking about.
Mhm.
They were not having it. Like they were like, I don't want to play this anymore. And I was like,
Oh.
oh no. Yeah. And then after we kind of like sat down, we got the answer, they're like, oh, that makes sense. But it took you having to like see it and then go back and explain it for them to understand. So I appreciate you just saying
Absolutely.
that. So now maybe if they're watching, they'll know for next time.
No, for sure. Yeah, and the thing to bear in mind with that is that the verifier is only looking for one particular thing, and the
Right.
other numbers don't really have anything to do with it. But once again, you can go and check that out. If you bump into that situation, if you ever think, oh, no, wait a second, the machine is wrong, go and check that out.
Because people are, now it's wrong. It's not me. It's wrong.
We've all been that soldier.
Exactly. So, well, thank you both of you for joining me. I know it's everyone's working. Actually, I'm off today, but I was like lunchtime. Everyone might want a little treat during their lunch break. But before we go, does anybody have any other questions they want to ask Danny or Matthew specific to Hachette games, Scorpion Masqué, Randolph games, just in general? If not, Matthew will not be at PAX Unplugged, but Danny will be there. Is Turing Machine going to be at PAX or no?
Yes.
But
About this many copies. So
wow.
Run to booth 3107 if you would like to get a copy. Otherwise, it's releasing in game stores in the US on November 29th.
And being the Canadian, well, also Matthew Canadian, is that everybody's going to be on that date or specifically just US for the release? Do you know offhand?
I think it released in Canada
Did
at the end
it?
of October.
Okay.
It released in French, as far as I know. Let me just have a look here.
Okay. No, it's the only reason why I asked. So I did receive a copy, so kindly, as a review copy. So this is why I had mine very early. I know on like Board Game Bliss, it was saying it was a pre-order. I didn't check recently, so I wasn't sure if it had actually come in or they had gotten some and sold out. So, and people have been asking.
I can imagine.
Yeah, but don't worry if you can. We can definitely post it later if people want to know. So I see this. Slivers, we need this game. ... Cryptid is on one of my boys and my most played games ever. Yeah, the first time I played Cryptid, we played it really wrong. And it was, oh no, what made it even more hilarious, I was playing with other people who were like designers, publishers. It was hilarious. But in the end, loved it. It was super good. So thank you, Eric. 10 o'clock meeting. Yeah, I've done that. Oopsie.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks for popping in.
And hi to John as well. I saw John Prather pop his head in there. So
Okay,
hope you're doing well.
Solo. And the Shipwreck Arcana is also a super good and quick deduction game. I don't know this game, so
Me neither.
I will have to. You never heard either? Yeah, okay.
The small box one.
Oh, well, Eric, you're just gonna have to send me the link because I don't know this one. That's it. Okay, well, I guess nobody really has any questions. So before we go, if people need to get in contact with you, or if there's just something you want to tell us about, you know what? We'll go the other way this time. So Matthew, you go, and then Danny will go.
Yeah, well, I'm available on Twitter at MattyLeg1 while Twitter is still in existence.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, I mean, you can find me. You can find me on Facebook. I have Instagram, but I never really check in. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, thank you. And Danny?
I'm Danny Below, just like my Twitch handle on Twitter and Twitch and most everywhere else. Or whenever you talk to Ash at Board Games, you're talking to me. So you can find me there too.
Okay, this is good to know. I didn't know that. See, so I learned something new. You can all find me at 613 Mandi on Instagram and Twitter. And I'm trying to think what's coming up for the week. We actually will have a video dropping for Maple Valley, which is coming to Kickstarter on Tuesday, November 15th. So keep an eye out for that. So is anybody streaming? I'm just very bad at doing this whole rating people, but I don't see anybody that's on my list at the moment. Let's see. I'm gonna give some support where we can. Do you have anything there, anybody? Oh, Paula's streaming. Okay. All right. Now don't laugh. Let me try this now. Hold on now. Because I do this wrong every time. Paula, is it all one word? I hope so. Okay, here we go. Let me try it. I can't. It won't let me because I'm not logged in. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry, Paula, if you are watching. I did try, but unfortunately, this thing hates me today. But if David's in the chat, David actually will be able to do it for me because he is one of our moderators. Wow, I was going to say modifiers. Did we use that word today? No.
Verifier.
Okay. Maybe I was trying to do modify and verify maybe in one word. Wow. Sorry about that. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks so much for joining and enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks to Danny and Matthew for joining. All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.